Do you think India has got what it takes to turn diversity into power, sources of creativity, synergy?
I think
What do you think?
the history of India is India started from day one as a country being diverse. 20 plus languages, every religion in the world. So we've had to manage it from the first day onwards.
From day one.
So I think the definition of diversity in India is very different from the Western one. Maybe there's a few things like maybe we could increase gender, but in terms of religion, caste, creed, languages, food,
It's pretty much part of your.
It's part of our
your life.
DNA. It's part of DNA.
And Indians have always, learned to be creative, mixed batches, and it's coming by on almost naturally now.
Almost naturally. Then you can make the best multicultural managers in the world.
Indians are quite adaptable.
Adaptable.
In fact, if I may say so, more than some of the Asian cultures, even Western cultures,
Oh, yeah.
much more adaptable.
Yeah.
And they gel around with most of the cultures in the world. It is not one of the cultures that was non-aggressive through the histories of the world. So it was on the more adaptable, flexible. That's if you see even the roots where it coming from in terms of the Hindu religion, where it started, and Buddhism came out of that, and everything is about non-tolerance and Gandhi. If you look at the history, it's again non-violence and tolerance and flexibility. So somewhere that is inherent in the whole thing.
Yesterday, I interviewed one Indian senior manager of an electronics company here in Mumbai, Japanese company. He said, as the strengths of Indians when they go global, and I appreciate your comment on that. He gave 4 points. First of all, adrenaline to learn fast, adrenaline about everything, any activity, and then shared sense of unity as a country. And the third is linguistic talent, the English. And the last one is intelligence as in basic science and technology. So this will be quite a strength for Indian people to operate internationally.
Yeah, I think the language is because there's so many different languages in India. Very often Indians have common language is English. The second is speed. There's a speed here. Everybody, especially you see in the conference, the younger generation wants everything now, today, tomorrow. So there's a much more faster pace, and I think particularly in the last 10 years, because the economy has been growing 7-8% plus. So when the economy is growing 8%, people want to grow 15%.
Also, it's a very competitive society. There's lots of competition, even to get into the colleges, the schools. So every stage of the life you're competing to get. So that spirit of competition that I need to prove myself, I need to do something to move, is very, very high. So they learn fast, they adapt fast.
That's very different from us. But that you could feel a little impatient when you're the supervising the opposite kind of people, but slow, not very energetic, not very forthcoming.
I think many foreigners, expats, when they come here, especially from many organized, structured economies like Japan or some countries in the West, they say that India is very chaos because of the speed of everything. People just take. I call it organized chaos.
Organized chaos.
There's a sense, there's a reason for all of this. It's not just people running around for no reason.
Yeah.
But if you see now, in last few years or last decade, lots of Indians have become managers and are global, and they are doing very well. Because, as I said, Indians adapt very well. So although there may be a sense of competition and speed here, when they go outside, they adapt themselves quite well, and that's why they are quite successful outside also as managers.
Like Pepsi Cola, the top manager, the best examples.
Citibank, lots of
lots of people.
No, and
in fact, most of the APAC,
many multinationals in India are exporting talent from India.
From India,
Management talent, whether it's to Brazil, China, wherever. That's a huge part of the work.
Can you give some advice, if possible, to Japanese for their globalization?
For global?
The speed of trust needs to be slightly more, probably
Faster.
So I understand the Japanese people, as I understand the culture, and I may be wrong. They take time to understand, get into depth in those. And yes, the relationships are long term once they understand. But sometimes that speed becomes a bottleneck, and the speed of understanding somehow needs to increase.
I would say one is, besides the speed, is integrate more. Integrate more with the local.
With the local people.
Get to know them, try out some new things, and once you do that, then the trust will come when you realize that. So
We want trust first, and then delegate and deeper
Takes too
relationship.
long.
So maybe start with trusting rather than distrusting. Start with the trusting first, unless proven wrong.
And let's prove them wrong.
So instead of saying
That's the other way around.
exactly, so
It all comes from a long-term, a lifetime sort of relationship. So we don't believe in short-term trust. Only when you commit for long-term,
what I'm
then
saying
we.
is start with trusting rather than from a position of non-trusting and then slowly building that trust. Start from a position of trust unless somebody breaks it. And most of the time,
very good. That's
they
very
will not break it. If your expectations are very clear, you put it on the table, most people will keep that trust.
I'm looking for a key word about Indian style management, Indian work values. Like in China, they told me room for growth. That's the key motivator in China. In Thailand, wear different hats depending on the types of the staff you're managing. In Japan, security in exchange for loyalty, perhaps. Is there any key word that describes the Indian work values the most?
I think
Achievement.
Yeah.
Achievement.
Achievement and adaptable. They
Adaptable.
adapt. They look at the final goal. They try to achieve it. In the journey, they adapt.
Yeah, I'd say be extremely flexible and learn to operate in ambiguous situations. There's an Indian word that's often used. It's called jugaad.
Jugaad.
Yeah, jugaad means, I don't know how do you translate it. It's a very
Jugaad.
difficult word to translate. It means
Basically, to reach the ultimate goal, whatever it takes.
Reach the ultimate goal, whatever it takes.
there's a
Jugaad.
goal. We'll do whatever, however. It's not always linear process, but we will get there.
Are there many right ways to get
Many
there?
ways.
Many
As long
ways.
as we get there, that's what matters. Be creative, be flexible.
We are very concerned about which way to take.
For us, it's getting there.
So that's why I'm saying
Goal is more
adaptable
Goal is more important.
and achievement oriented.
Adaptable and achievement oriented. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Very informative. Thank you very much.